Hey guys, it's Sasha. Today is pretty chilly, so I'm going to be wearing this hat throughout the entire episode today. Today's episode will be about confirmation bias, how it rules our life, how it rules my life, your life, everybody's life, humanity in general. So, you know what, let's get straight into it. For one, let's talk about what a confirmation bias is, right? What is a confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is a form of cognitive bias where your brain constantly looks for evidence that supports your own worldview, and you don't necessarily look at things through what would often be considered a rational lens. If you want to look deeper into this, I will leave some resources and some links to very good videos that you could watch right in the description. If you're not satisfied with what I'm going to talk about, feel free to go and research on your own and look further into this. But let's get straight into it. So to explain a bit further exactly what a confirmation bias is, I will give a few examples to make it easier for me and to make it easier for you to understand. So what is an example of confirmation bias in real life, right? Not on paper. Let's say you have a priest and an atheist. And the priest, every achievement, everything that happened in his life, every downfall, everything he assigns to God. And that is God's will, and that is what God deemed to be right, and that is the right way. And if God sends something my way, then so be it. Whereas an atheist will think, can this be scientifically proven? How does this work? Why did this happen? And they will rationalize everything. This is the perfect example of what a confirmation bias is, because for everything that happens in the priest's life, he will look to answer from God, right? And everything will lead to God. Whereas the atheist, in the way he was brought up, he doesn't believe in God. So everything that happens to him, every decision he's made, is made with some kind of scientific proof in mind, right? And both of these parties don't believe in each other's middle ground. You give both of them the same concept, and they will have two completely different reasons for why that is, right? And this happens, and to give a more personal example, and to give a less general example, we could also look into politics. In the US, it's primarily a two-party system right now, Republicans and Democrats. You give both parties, right, the same piece of paper, the same article, same magazine, same news segment, and they will both interpret it in completely different ways. It doesn't even have to make any sense. Maybe it's just complete gibberish that was made up by someone in the media to just rile people up, but both parties will look at it and be like, this is right, this is wrong, etc. And both parties will have their own completely different points of views, right? And you might think, oh, well, that doesn't affect me because I'm not into politics, I'm not into this, I'm not into these emotional things. So let me give you an even less general example. If you wake up and you think, I am going to have a bad day today. Obviously, no one, thinks that off the bat. Some people do, but most people don't. But let's say you wake up, you look out the window. I have my beautiful window right there. Imagine I wake up in that bed, I look out of that window, and I say, damn, today is terrible, right? I see the weather, it's a bit gloomy. Wow, today is going to be a horrible day. Now, automatically what I did for myself is set up my entire day for it to be a bad day. Why? Because now, the entire day, my brain will look for evidence of why I'm going to have a bad day and why today is a bad day in general. So I get out, the weather is not the best. Wow, it's so terrible today. I step into a puddle. Wow, damn, it can't get any worse. I eat some food and it doesn't hit as good as it normally would. Damn, today really is the worst day of my life, right? I don't go exercise because I'm too tired. It just keeps getting worse. And what am I going to do? Am I going to cry? Am I going to go back to bed? I'm just going to go lay down and watch Netflix and drink soda and eat chips the whole day. This day can't get any worse. I don't want it to get any worse. Stop right there. Now, imagine if I got up out of that bed. I went up straight to the window and I just stood up and said, damn, today is going to be a fascinating day. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to do anything I can to make it amazing, right? And you know what? Maybe the weather's not the best, but at least it's not too cold. You're dressed nice, you're warm. Already a pretty good start. You're wearing a really nice warm hat, right? What is there to complain about? So then let's give the same scenario. I step into a puddle, right? And haha, funny situation. I just stepped into a puddle. Who else this could have happened to besides me? Wow. All right. My day is maybe not getting better, but it's also not getting worse. I'm not letting this get to me. And my brain is thinking, damn, the day is going to be great. You go get some food. Maybe it's not the best food you've ever eaten, but you're grateful just to be able to eat. You're grateful to have food on your table. You're grateful to be able to afford food. Damn, today is really good. I got to eat, and I got to eat some decent food. You don't want to work out, but you say, maybe today would be even better if I went to the gym and did some exercise. So you go walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes, and your day is just getting better. Now you don't want to go to bed. You don't want to lay down and watch Netflix for hours on end. That is not something you would do if you had a great day, right? So guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? It might seem like I'm being redundant in the things I'm saying, but you have to understand that unless you explicitly understand what's happening in your mind during these decisions you make, during the things you say to yourself, you are just going to keep on living on essentially autopilot. And you will let confirmation bias and other cognitive biases make decisions for you, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? I do want to say that confirmation bias and biases in general, why are they developed in our head? They're developed to lower the strain and allow our brain to make faster, more automated decisions. That is not a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing. Because imagine if your brain had to deal with an influx of new thoughts constantly every single second of the day, and it would challenge your worldview and the way you grew up in every single second of the day. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine my little ideas being challenged every second of the day? I can't. No, but in all seriousness, you have to understand that confirmation bias is not necessarily a bad thing, but you can make it a bad thing if you let it control your life, such as anything else. And I think one of the most important things when it comes to understanding and sort of moving past your biases, especially in the case of a confirmation bias, is to just speak things into existence. And I've made a video on this before on Instagram. Not so much a video, I just posted a couple stories. But what I spoke about is that you have to speak things into existence, that you should only speak things that are beneficial to you and that at the end of the day you can commit to and will lead to a better life. What do you even mean by that? What are you saying right now? And what I mean is that just in the example of getting out of bed in the morning, right? You want to say things that will ultimately make you, for one, a better person, two, a happier person, right? So you don't want to tell yourself, oh, I will never start at the gym because I'm so bad looking and it's not even going to help me. What world are we living in right now? If you keep telling yourself bad things about yourself, bad things are going to happen to yourself. You're not going to think every day that I'm going to be a terrible person, I'm going to grow up to be nothing, I'm going to be worthless, and then not grow up to be worthless. Sure, there are a few lucky people that are generally very, very negative people that either became negative over their life or just started off very pessimistic, and there are very few cases where those people are successful, 100%. I don't deny that happens, but whatever success means to you, whether that's being happy, whether that's having a family, being rich, doesn't matter. You have to start off by telling yourself and doing things to improve on your goals, right? To just move forward. If you tell yourself that you're going to be a great father and you actively make steps towards being a great father in the future, guess what? You are probably going to do things that a great father would do. You're probably going to be a good dad. Maybe not, but there's a good chance that you are. So all I'm saying with this is that you can't say bad things to yourself and you can't affirm bad things to yourself and then expect good outcomes. You can't be playing the lottery every single day with your life. You have to start looking for positives and looking for ways to improve yourself and your life. And we already touched on it, why it's important not to have your life led on these biases, and particularly confirmation bias. Number one, obviously, is, as I mentioned, you don't want to be running on autopilot 24/7, right? Is that really the best way to live your life? You get up and you're just on autopilot the whole day. You're just walking through life. And what ends up happening when you're walking through life is that you get into jobs you don't like, you stop looking for potentially better opportunities for yourself. You settle for mediocrity when you're running on autopilot, or maybe not even mediocrity, maybe even worse, because you think I can't do any better. And you see this all the time with relationships, with New Year's resolutions, for example, everything. In relationships, you see it all the time. And please don't misconstrue what I'm saying for like, you should look for a high value man. You should look for a high value woman. Like, you need to look for people that will make you a better person and that will make them a better person, right? It's not a one-sided thing. And you are not going, and with this belief that I want to find someone better, like, you're probably never going to find someone you're going to be happy with. Now, let me stop myself right there because it is important to look for good people. But again, good people in the sense that this person makes me whole, this person makes me happy, I want to make them happy, I will make them happy, we are strong together. Don't go and look for, and social media these days completely ruined that image. Let me just put that out there. Guys, everyone should strive to be successful, right? Everyone should strive to be successful in their own mind. If the meaning of success to you is having a family, then as a guy, go find a girl that will want a family. You get a decent job so you can support you and your family. And if that's all you want from life, then do that. You don't have to be ultra rich and go on super yachts every weekend and go on private jets every weekend. Maybe that's not you, and it doesn't have to be, right? Like, for everybody, and we have to accept that it's different for everybody. I know I went a little bit off the rails there, but guys, all I'm saying is that you can do better, and you should know and tell yourself that you can do better. Okay, that's all I'm saying. In relationships, what I meant when I said you don't want to settle for something bad is you don't want to settle for a toxic relationship or a bad partner that inflicts their bad habits and their bad decisions onto you. That is never a good idea. And I will make a whole separate video about this, so stay tuned on Sasha's channel, whatever you might want to call it, on Real Talk. You might get another perspective video, but regardless, relationships, jobs, people stop looking for jobs because they give up and they think, I can't do any better than this, I'm done, I will just work this for my entire life. And guess what? They do end up working there for their entire life. Now I'm happy, and boom, life walk through on autopilot. How is that fulfilling and how is that happy? How is that? Again, there are people who are going to be happy doing that, right? 100%. But if that's the way you intentionally want to live your life, then dude, go ahead. Do your thing. If that's what makes you happy, then do it. But don't pretend like you're happy in a situation that you're not happy in. And don't force yourself to be happy in that situation. So, yeah, bias, it's a dangerous thing if not used properly, so to speak. Used, right? But if you don't look at it and use it in a proper, good fashion, then you risk screwing your life over big time. Please wake up the next day after watching this video and think to yourself, today is going to be a great day. And just keep reaffirming that every second of the day. Okay, every second, but keep reaffirming that. Keep telling yourself that, wow, today is going to be a great day. Regardless of if the weather is bad, right? Regardless of if you stepped into a puddle. Regardless of if you didn't get food or something. You can only be so positive. I know you can only be so positive. You can only be so optimistic. But it's better to try to be optimistic consistently than just give up and be sad all the time. This video was a bit on the shorter side, and I might have to go into post edit and see what I said and maybe add on to that to add some clarifications, or we'll see what I gotta do. But thank you for watching. As always, it's a great thing to have you guys watching my videos, and I'm really glad that he does actually watch the full thing, actually watches it like you guys. Next video will come out again probably in the next couple of days. I'm trying to stick to a consistent upload schedule, maybe every 2 or every 3 days, but you just have this urge to record. Sometimes I don't. Like this morning I woke up, it's about 8:30 right now. Didn't necessarily want to sit down, didn't necessarily want to make a video, but you know what, we're gonna do it anyway because I forced myself to want to. Anyhow, okay, thank you for watching, really appreciate it.